So yes, hi everyone. I should have actually done this at the start, but to introduce myself, my name is Lee McLaren and I'm the current president. I've been the president now for 2 years of the TUSA State Council. And yeah, why did I run? Pretty much it started off, honestly, it started off as the more professional development side of things and what I could gain from the experience. But probably within a month, within a month of being elected, it very much became a lot more of what I felt like I could achieve in the role and what I could do for students, and seeing some of the issues that existed around, whether it be around gender-based violence, student voice in university decision-making, lack of students at the table, national conversations around student services and amenities fees, the university accords. These were kind of really big things that I felt like I could really have a role to play in. So that's very quickly became very passionate about the role, and which is really why I decided to run for a second year, is because I felt like my job wasn't done. So I needed to see it through and to do another year to really make sure that some of these big changes could be implemented. So what was some of my duties throughout the year? So as the president for next year and now, is a lot of it's all about the external representation of TUSA and of the TUSA State Council and the student voice. So a lot of it may be speaking on media, going on radio interviews, TV interviews, speaking with newspapers, a lot of meeting with politicians, key the pushers and movers in Tasmania, but also a bit nationally as well, trying to making sure that you're representing the student voice. As the only university in Tasmania, we're kind of in a unique position that there is no other student voice in Tasmania, so we are the ones to speak for, predominantly for young people in Tasmania. We tend to be the one that people come to hear how young people are feeling about things in Tasmania. So a big part of your role is around that, as well as sitting on a lot of the university committees and the key governance groups, such as the Academic Senate, the key university decision-making spaces, as well as the TUSA Board of Governance and Board of Management, I should say. They sort of come with some of my key duties throughout the year. Highlight of my 2 years. Oh, that's a tough one. Oh, Michelle, you got me stumped on that one.
I feel like you've got a lot of highlights based on what you just said about your role. My personal favorite highlight of yours was when you got featured at UTAS's social media and they called you TUSA McLaren. That's definitely mine. So on top of obviously representing students, you get to be the face of our social media as well. So time to get famous,
Yeah. I mean, I think in a serious sense, probably the highlight for me would have been the day that the federal budget was announced for 2024, and in line with the university accords, we saw commitments to not just the federal budget night, but also the night that the university accords were announced, and we saw the commitments to mandatory SAF for student-led organisations. We saw paid placements. We saw HEX indexation being rolled back. We saw needs-based students funding, all these big things that we've been campaigning for nationally for over 12 months. All of a sudden, all that hard work kind of came to fruition. You allow yourself to enjoy it for about 10 minutes, and then the next question goes, well, then it's not in legislation yet, so we're not quite there yet, but that was probably the highlight of the year for me. Campaigning tips. Don't be ashamed to really lean on your social network would probably be my biggest one. Like when I was campaigning, my biggest thing would be messaging every single person that was in my Instagram or Facebook that may or may not be a university student and encouraging them to vote. If you're a person that really enjoys being extroverted and out there, and obviously happy to go into public sort of campaign stuff of, meeting people out there, I do strongly encourage that. I'm actually someone that struggles a bit more with that stuff. I don't find it as comfortable, so I relied much more heavily on social media posters and sort of behind the scenes campaigning. But there's other people that are that public campaigning is still really important for, and is still, hugely crucial.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Leah.